Welcome to a new tutorial on Green Hell VR. This will be a guide to advanced crafting, in which I will show you all the tools that can be made in addition to the basic ones, weapons, armor, the use of the forge, and the creation of tools and weapons with iron. The tools and weapons that I showed you in the first tutorial about crafting are not the only ones you can make. Here are the improved version of the axe and other tools. After seeing the combination of all the tools and weapons that can be crafted with material readily available in the jungle, let's talk about something truly advanced that only an expert can boast of being able to do: the use of the forge. First, build the forge. Open the diary, labeled with fire, browse until you find the forge and pinch it. Place the long sticks and then the mud bricks. You should already know how to do it since I explained how to create mud structure in the previous tutorial. Otherwise, open the link that appears and follow the previous guide, then come back to this one. After creating the forge, recover a mold by working on mud brick. Now you need the molds to shape the iron tools, coal in industrial quantities, and metal to be melted. But where can you get metal from in the jungle? You have two options. The first involves exploring the caves in search of iron veins. You recognize them by the different color of the rock in the cave wall and the cracks. To extract the iron, you must necessarily use the pickaxe. Not all the veins release iron to melt, so you'll have to go around quite a lot. In alternative, look hard when exploring abandoned fields, because you can often find cans. To have a huge supply of coal, you can build 20 bonfires, but it's not a very affordable choice. You have to use the mud oven, specially designed to give you a huge amount of ash and coal. Put all the wood you have in the oven until it reaches the maximum capacity. Close it with an additional mud brick and then light it up. You will have to wait a long time before the wood burns completely, but in the end you will get a huge amount of coal and ash. It's time to ignite the forge, to melt the metal and make the molds. Take the metal ore or a can and insert into the slot at the base of the forge. Put the charcoal in the upper one until it reaches the maximum capacity and start the fire. It takes about 4 hours to melt the metal. In the meantime, you can retrieve sticks to create more charcoal and create more mud bricks, as you will need them for the molds and the oven. When the metal is melted, you will find in front of the forge and you can use it to make the mold. Here's how to make the various mold. Now that you have the mold you wanted, place it in the mold slot at the bottom of the forge. In the slot at the top instead, put the maximum amount of charcoal back. Again, it takes a long time, and keep an eye on the amount of residual charcoal, because if it runs out during the melting, you have to start over. To prevent this from happening, you can add charcoal pieces even while the forge is running. When the forge has finished, retrieve the mold and take out the piece of metal which now has the shape of the object you wanted to create. The mold for the metal blade produces only one piece. The one for the metal strips for the armor produces 2 pieces, while the one for the arrowhead produces 3 pieces. Good. Now that you know how to forge metal, here are the combination of items to make iron tools. Forging is a long process and requires patience, but given the result, it's worth it. Keep in mind the basic steps. Melt the metal, make the mold with the molten metal and the tool you want to create. Put the mold in the forge and then break it to get the metal shape to create the tool. And remember that while you wait whether the metal is melting or the mold is ready, you need to gather more resources and keep your macros at good levels. Thanks to this guide, you have learned one of the most difficult aspects in Green Hell: melting of metal to create objects. This knowledge makes you a true expert, and now there are a few secrets that I have yet to reveal to you. But keep following to increase your knowledge about Green Hell VR.